and welcome to today's episode of Habaita. I am so excited today to be joined by Danny Schief, who is the co-founder and CEO at KNS Advanced Systems that has created something super cool that I'm excited to talk to you about to minimize vibrations. And Danny, I can't wait to just jump into it. So thank you so much for joining Habaita today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shira. Thank you for the opportunity and thank you for having me in your show. I'm excited to be here.
So, Danny, tell me a little bit about specifically, I know you have a degree in electrical engineering, but would love to understand just a little bit more about your company and what problem you guys are solving.
Actually, it's very difficult for me, to explain, even for my friends and my family, what we're
Okay.
actually doing. The things that we are doing, that majority of the people never think about it and never feeling it. And we are avoided unwanted vibrations to the very, very precision equipment, tools, instruments. And I will give a few examples of that
Okay.
in order to trying to explain what we are doing actually. And the semiconductor manufacturing industry, I mean, the chips that we all using in our daily life, even in a Frigidaire, or we have it in our cars, of course, our smartphones, computers, everything which surrounding us have a chips. But the chip manufacturing process is very, very complicated and very precision. Inside the chip, if we can zoom in and going inside the chip, we will see towers of transistors and components like a Matrix movie, if you remember that. Billions on billions, hundreds of billions transistors, which the distance between them is only 1.4 nanometer. Nanometer is billion times smaller than meter. I mean,
Wow.
billion times smaller than millimeter. And you can imagine how difficult it's to build these chips. And of course, the people is not able to do that. That's doing by the machines, by instruments. And these machines, very sensitive for the everything. Actually, for the people talking, for the people walking, for the doors open, door closing. It's just an earthquake for such equipment. And the process is actually not possible when all these disturbances appear and coming from the environmental. Another area is medical, the medicine, the IVF processes, and vehicle manufacturing processes, everything that's surrounding us and working and operating in nanometer scale in very high precision require the solution that we are doing. Our systems is electromechanical systems, including mechanics, electronics, and the software, and they're able to detect these vibrations in real time and eliminate them during the milliseconds.
So can I stop you for a second? Okay, I'm going to try to really understand this. So what you're saying is that the chips that are installed in all of these devices and all of the technologies that we're using create a vibration sometimes? There's an actual vibration between the devices.
Impossible. Yeah, not exactly. It's impossible to manufacture such, to make these chips if the vibrations in surrounding environmental conditions occurred. So our aim is
the issue
to
is make the chip. Okay, you cannot make the chip if there's any vibration surrounding you. That's what you're saying in the actual manufacturing plant.
That's right.
Got it. Okay, and so you came up with a solution to remove vibrations, even if there's external vibrations around you?
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
So we are coming with a solution with detecting this vibration and eliminating them in real time, in microseconds or milliseconds.
How do you do that? So let's manufacturing plant that's next to a highway, which many are, right? And there's a lot of vibrations from the trucks that are passing, from, regular traffic, right? There could be vibrations even from the wind, I'm assuming, outside. So how do you eliminate that?
Are you absolutely right? Even more than this, not only from the trucks and from the outside traffic, it's also the people walking on the floor, not jumping, not running, just walking.
Wow,
The people talking. The people talking, the air condition is working. This is very, very small motions generating by the human beings. How we are doing that? So we built very smart systems. The systems have mechanical components, electronics, software, a lot of sensors, very sensitive sensors, which allow us to detect these vibrations, these disturbances in real time, and in real time to dump them, to eliminate them. This is
Okay.
complicated software and mathematical algorithms implemented in software, which doing all these processes. And at the end of the day, we succeed to eliminate these disturbances in very, very short time. I mean, smaller than the second.
Wow. Okay. So basically, manufacturers will then install the sensors and the software, the sensors will then detect the vibrations. All the mathematical equations and algorithms are within the software that will then eliminate the vibrations. And how many sensors, let's say let's say an automotive, factory, how many sensors do they need to install?
Yeah, it's sensors and also the actuators. Actuators is a
Okay.
type of the very, very small motors because it's speaking very simple. We need to generate counterforce to eliminate vibration,
Okay, so
and
there's
this
sensors
counterforce
and
need
there's
to be
another.
generated by
Okay,
the motors.
got it.
How many tens? Maybe
Tens
sometimes even hundreds. It
of it
depends
depends
on
on
the
the space.
machine size, and it depends
Ah,
of what the machine is doing and what the precision level we would like to achieve.
so it's not based on the size of the room or the space. It's based on the size and the vibrations of the machine
On the targeting machine, that's right.
on
Yes,
the
on the
targeting
targeting
machine.
tool.
Okay. Wow. So let me ask you then, I'm just curious, what have companies been doing up until now with the vibration problem? How have they been, like, obviously they're creating chips. So how have they been dealing with that up until you guys created this solution?
That's right. And so, but the technology is moving forward. I mean, 30, 40, 50 years ago, the solutions was based on springs, on rubbers, on some type of very heavy pedestals built from the stones, concrete, granite. But if you remember well, our electronics equipment 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, was different compared to what we have now. So the technology is changing. As a result of that, the requirement for the solution is also changing. Today, you cannot build the same solution like it was
Like
30,
you,
40 years ago. We all, hundreds of years ago, the people used horses for the transportations, right? Today we're
yep,
using machines. And the machines
right.
that we're using, I mean, vehicles that we are using today and the vehicles which we used 30, 40 years ago, also different, right?
So you're saying that the chips themselves have evolved now?
They
That
changed, yes.
they
If
now,
you that's right, it's changed. If you remember, your television set in a home 20 years ago, it was a big box, right? Today you
right.
have a small screen with the television on your hand, like a smartphone.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm just wondering now, meaning companies that are using these chips, let's say for the last year or two, what solutions have they implemented to deal with the vibration that you're coming in and saying, no, this is better. This is, I don't know if it's, what the strategic advantages are in terms of the reduction of the vibration or the, financial, the economics behind it, that it's cheaper, but clearly you're going into these factories and these manufacturers and saying use our sensors and our solution rather than what they were using before.
It's even more strict than this. This industry, I mean, semiconductor industry is very much regulated
Yeah.
and there is standards for everything. So if the operation is
Mm-hmm.
not standard, the companies like Samsung or TSMC, they cannot start manufacturing process. So they need to ensure
Right.
that everything is in spec. I mean, and the vibration is one of the most important and critical parameters in this checklist.
So where is your technology deployed now?
Today, our technology in use by companies like Samsung, Marvell, TSMC, Broker, Micron, Apple, Applied Materials, KLA, Google, Olympus, BMW even, and Western
Oh,
Digital. So the list is big.
look at this, guys. I mean, this to me is just makes me so happy because look what an Israeli company has created that is now deployed in almost every device machine that we as consumers across the globe are using. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think, yes, you're right. It was manufactured thanks to the technology that we bring. And yes, it
That's
makes us very proud.
so, Danny, how did you come up with this idea? Where, tell me the story. I'm sure there's an interesting story behind this because this is solving such a critical problem, and the biggest companies in the world are now using your solution. So, first of all, wow, congratulations. And
Thank
second of all, how did you come up with this concept?
Actually, me and not only me, I mean my partner and who is leading who is our CTO. We are in a area of motion control and precision, vibration isolation, precision physics for the many years. So we detected that this one of the problems that in the past was solved by very simple solutions like springs or rubbers or the things like that. We understand that this is not enough, that for the
Mhm.
future, it will be not enough for the near future, not very far future. And that was the base of our understanding that we need to bring the solution for this very niche, extremely niche market and extremely niche technological need.
For me, it's not so niche, to be honest with you, because like you said, you listed almost every appliance, device, machine that we use uses these chips. So this is kind of a semiconductor cross the board issue, right? That vibrations are a problem everywhere. Like you said, people walking, right? People talking. So for me, this is like massive because everything that we're using has a chip, and you
Yeah,
cannot produce these chips without the vibration.
you cannot manufacture these chips without the
Right.
vibration. Manufacturing,
Right.
yes, chip manufacturing process is pretty much complicated. It's including more than 150 different stations of. So vibration is, of course, one of them. Definitely not the only one.
So let me ask you something. As an Israeli company, do you have a presence in the US and in Europe as well?
Yes, today we have branch offices in the United States, in China, in Korea, South Korea, and Japan.
Wow. Okay, so you have teams there that are deployed on the ground there?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And they're now the ones that are selling into all of these large semiconductors?
Actually, we are working through the local partners, local distributors, and even sometimes very big companies for the sale. But the target of our branch offices in different countries, in different regions, is to provide the pre-sale, post-sale support.
But Danny, before we wrap up, I would love to just understand, just in terms of your marketing right now, how, like you said, you have distribution partners, you are working direct because like it's unbelievable how many companies are leveraging, your technology right now. So maybe you can just expand real brief before we have to run how you manage because there's so many engineers and geniuses here in Israel, but they're not successful, or it's, I wouldn't say success, I wouldn't say that. I would say it's a big challenge for them to get the kind of distribution that you have managed to receive. So I would love to understand how you tackled that.
It's indeed it's a big issue. It's a big issue, and especially in a semiconductor area where it's very conservative, pretty much conservative area, not always allowing the new players to step in. However, I can tell you that what we did for the vibration isolation is pretty much advanced technology. Sometimes I'm saying that our technology is different from our competitions. They all have very good products, very well established products. However, I think that our solution is more advanced. And sometimes I'm kidding and saying that we are type of the smartphone in this area. I mean, before
Right.
smartphone, we all use Nokia and we all use Ericsson maybe, and it was very good phones, right? And we was able to make calls and to text messages, things like that. But then come smartphone, iPhone first, and change our user experience and our user interface that we are using till today. So we are type of iPhone of this industry.
Wow.
We think
Yeah.
something different to the
Mm-hmm.
industry. And even that we do have some competitors, we don't have too much, maybe 4 or 5 companies worldwide doing similar things like we do, but our technology is more advanced. And I'm very happy that the major players in a world industry recognize that, give us a chance at the beginning. And now we continue and we expand our technology to more and more players, more and more opportunities
Unbelievable.
in existing customer base.
Yeah. It's
However,
amazing.
for the small company starting, it's a bootstrap. I can also tell that we got in the beginning of the way, we got a lot of help and support from Innovation Authority. The
Mm.
Innovation Authority helps not only here, helps in different countries, and I can say that even very first steps was made with their help.
That's incredible. So that's the Innovation Authority here in Israel
Yes,
that
that's
okay, that's
Israeli
really
Innovation Authority. Yeah.
love that. Okay, I really want to dig deep into how they help because that's incredible. So, Danny, just as an Israeli company, are you feeling any differences this year versus last year presenting, excuse me, presenting yourself as Israeli?
I think actually, as in our experience, that as an Israeli company, I think that I can say that we even think the advantages in
Oh,
this because Israel, the people in high tech knows that the Israel is actually leading the technology and leading the technology, preventing new and innovative approaches, innovating solutions. And in our area, companies like KLA, Intel, Applied Materials, all of them have development centers in Israel. All
yeah.
of them, or majority of them, even have the manufacturing plants in Israel. So in our field and in the markets where we are operating, I cannot say that we feel some disadvantages to be Israeli company. Probably may say even opposite.
That's
However,
incredible.
we always need to be, on the edge. And of course, we need to be very organized, very accurate, like our customers expecting from us to be.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the reasons that I started this podcast was exactly for what you said, which is so nice to hear that it's just the obvious, which is Israel is the technology and the startup nation and the hub of so much innovation. And it's just so important for the world to see this. And this is really one of the reasons and my personal mission of starting Habaita was to spread that. And it's every day I'm just enjoying it so much, just meeting the most incredible people who have all different backgrounds. Many of them are based in Rehovot. It's interesting. I would say Rehovot is probably the area where most of my interviews are based because the whole agricultural hub is there with Weizmann Institute. So all the technologies that are developed around agriculture are also in Rehovot, which is super interesting because I always thought that Tel Aviv would be the main area, but it's very interesting for me. I definitely learned that with this podcast, but super interesting, and I'm so happy to hear that they're not only is it not a disadvantage, but it's actually an advantage because they understand what is being developed in this amazing country. So Danny, thank you so much for joining Habaita. It was wonderful to meet you and really wishing you only the most success and continued growth.
Thank you, Shira. Thank you for having me. It was interesting podcast and meeting with you for me as well. Thank you very, very much. And
Wonderful.
yeah, maybe, next time, some another topic.
And I'm there next.
Maybe,
Absolutely.
some funny thing for the end. In sometimes in different countries like Japan, Taiwan, China, and the people asking where the company is locating, I'm saying Rehovot. Many people doesn't understand where it is, and then if I'm saying Weizmann Institute, the
They know.
majority of the people knows where
It's
it is.
unbelievable. I
Yeah,
love that. I love that because
yeah.
so much is created there. It's unbelievable. And it's
That's
also beautiful there. So if anyone has not been to Rehovot, I highly recommend. It's a beautiful area. I have family there. And the Weizmann Institute has just created so much amazing innovation around plant studies, like nature studies as well. It's incredible. So anyway, Danny, thank you so much
Thank
and
you.
wishing you only the best. Okay.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.